Today we're going to talk about kitchen layout, and we're going to use my kitchen to relay some of the design concepts I incorporate when I'm designing a kitchen. This is a contemporary style with a transitional door, a contemporary take on the shaker look. You notice that I have an open soffit up above. The cabinetry goes within an inch or so of the ceiling and is just left to a shadow line. This was done for two reasons. One, because my ceilings are so low. And the second, I wanted to give myself 36-inch high wall cabinets for additional storage. Now, the first area that we look at when we're designing a kitchen is where we're going to put the refrigerator. We want the refrigerator on the end of a run. We want it easily accessible, but we also want it out of the main workflow areas. So here I've placed it on the end of a run, not far from my Peninsula. But you'll notice one thing, that we've enclosed the refrigerator and I have used a tall pantry unit. It's only 12 inches deep, but which has significant storage available on the sides. This gives me a large area for bulk foods, cereals, miscellaneous items that does not take up a lot of wall space. It's a nice way to add volume to your kitchen at minimal expense. You'll note also that we've enclosed the refrigerator very tightly around with cabinetry. The refrigerator itself, this particular model, does not require ventilation on the left, right, or top. You need to know that if you're going to build something in. You have to make sure you have the proper clearances available to you. You'll also note that in the deep storage up above, I have a bulk storage for my wife's flower vases, and we have miscellaneous tray dividers for cooking goods and large bulky items that really don't fit anywhere else. Now, the other thing that I like to do near the refrigerator is place the microwave and the microwave cabinet. Microwaves tend to be quite deep, and so the cabinet itself has a lot of bulk. By placing it next to the finished side of a refrigerator enclosure, it masks that bulk and does not chop up the continuity of the rest of the wall cabinetry. It also provides a good secondary food prep area where foods can be taken out of the refrigerator, put on the counter, processed, and heated up. This is great for the kids when they're coming home from school and doing snacks and such. They can make hot cocoa and do whatever they need to do here without interfering with what might be going on in the rest of the kitchen. Other things I've incorporated in this area here are we have drawer storage for some food utensils for the secondary food prep area. We also, of course, have the mandatory junk drawer that keeps miscellaneous batteries, wire ties, rubber bands, all the stuff that you just need to throw in a drawer. What I've done here also, away from the primary work area, is I've incorporated a large recycling cabinet with two base baskets. This allows us to sort papers and cans and bottles and keep them out of sight until it's time for them to go out to the garage. Now, in this secondary food prep area, I have drawers for all of our baking goods. We keep flours, spices, miscellaneous items in there. And of course, because this is a food prep area where the kids and my wife make their lunches to take to school, the bottom drawer also is a great place to store a lot of our Tupperware. So here's the cooking area of the kitchen. Here you see I have a 30-inch slide-in glass top electric range. And above it, I've put a 36-inch chimney-style hood for design reasons. But also you'll note that with a 36-inch hood over a 30-inch range, I keep my cabinetry back away from the cooking areas. This helps prevent heat degradation to the finishes, also helps keep grease and moisture from impacting the cabinetry. First thing I like to incorporate in any kitchen design is a nice, generous 4-drawer base next to the range. This gives us utensil storage for all the cooking supplies, wire whisks, spatulas, and wooden spoons that we use when we're cooking. Gives us a place for hot pads and oven mitts. And in the lower drawers, we can keep small items like, a little mixer that we use, some miscellaneous storage. And in the deeper bottom drawer is where we keep all of our measuring spoons, measuring cups, and some baking pots and pans. Now, on the other side of the range, I have additional compartmentalized utensil storage. And below that, my primary pots and pan drawer is right next to the range. And here I keep the pots and pans that we use every day and our favorites that seem to get repeatedly used. Any miscellaneous items that we don't use on a regular basis are not kept here. I keep them elsewhere. And we've done the same and with the deep bottom drawer. We've got mixing bowls, some miscellaneous pots and strainers and stuff that we use here in the primary food prep area. Now, for those items that we don't use regularly and that are large and bulky, there's nothing like a Lazy Susan corner cabinet. The Susan itself here carries things that we use occasionally, like a crock pot, our double boiler, cake pan, miscellaneous lobster pot, and a waffle maker. Things that you want to have nearby and want to have properly stored, but that you want to keep out of the primary food prep area. Up above, again, using a Lazy Susan corner cabinet in the wall, we have a convenient rotating Susan that gives us access to all of our spices and keeps them right at hand. So now we get to the cleaning area, and one of the first principles that I like to make clear is that we center the sink cabinet on the window. That is typical in almost all designs. And you'll note in this particular situation, that only left me with a small 7-inch area to the left of the sink. That for us was a very convenient spot to leave open so that we could keep all of our chopping blocks that we use on a daily basis very nearby and giving us easy access. It also gives us a place to put additional wet towels and such till they air dry. Moving off to the right of the sink, I have placed a single wastebasket here. And this is pretty convenient when chopping up vegetables or other items, like prepping food, just to be able to throw it into the wastebasket and not have to carry wet things to another location. Again, in the corner, I've got an additional miscellaneous storage. Some of those are junk drawers. Some have candles and matches and miscellaneous aprons and such. Now, as we turn the corner, in this particular case, I have the dishwasher in the Peninsula. Typically, you do put the dishwasher adjacent to the sink, but in this particular case, this was the best location. One of the things I do have, however, is the ability with the dishwasher open to immediately pull things out and access storage for glasses, cups, and also our serving dishes. If your kitchen is large enough, you'll probably want to incorporate an island or a peninsula. There are a couple points that you should be aware of when doing so. It will determine whether you have adequate size and whether the shape of the island or peninsula is going to enhance your kitchen design. In this particular case, you'll note that I have a clear peninsula. I have not dedicated it to a sink or a cooktop. This gives me a lot more flexibility. I can sit down and read the Sunday paper here. When I'm entertaining, I can have hors d'oeuvres and cocktails out here. And it also acts as a nice psychological barrier, keeping your guests out of the kitchen area. You'll note also that I've incorporated a curved section to the countertop. I do that on purpose, and I try to do that in all islands and peninsulas because it makes it a much more convivial area for people to congregate around.